If your teen suddenly cannot move leg or whole body, then you're going into panic, and that's normal. But what most people do next actually sends a recovery in the wrong direction. So let's talk about what to do instead when paralysis is part of your child's FND journey, and why your real power lies in what to do outside of those episodes. So let's dive in. Hi, my name is Dr. Lee. I'm a pediatric health psychologist and the founder of Teen FND Academy, which is an online group coaching program to help teens with FND and their parents like you guys to basically get their life back. So let me walk you through it. Paralysis is basically a fancy name for your child's body not working, whether it's their leg or body or arm or hand or neck or whatever, the whole body. It is a part of pretty common symptoms of FND, which stands for functional neurological disorder. And paralysis in FND is a real thing. It's not that your child is making things up, doing it for attention or anything like that. And it's not imagined either. It is real. It happens when your child's brain and body connections are not quite working. So the brain is trying to okay, move, but it's not really working, kind of thing. And unfortunately, your reaction as a parent of panicking, fear, or let's just fix it, that mode of thinking, whether it's overt or covert, they don't really help either. And if your child is also having the similar reactions to that paralysis symptom or episode through panic, fear, or gotta fix it, that it doesn't help either, because unfortunately all of these things reinforces the nervous system glitch, aka the fight or flight system gets all fired up. If you can think of a brain is hitting a traffic jam, right? No matter how fast or how much you try to push, isn't going to go away because you're stuck in a traffic jam. So that is essentially what's happening with your child's brain and the body when it comes to FND, including paralysis symptom. So here are the common mistakes that parents and teens try to do to fix during the episode. Number one, you or your child are frantically rubbing the leg or wherever the paralysis is happening, or stretching or trying to force movement, or you asking the teen repeatedly, can you move now? Can you move now? How about this? How about that? That kind of thing. And then your teens are doing kind of same thing. Can I do it now? Can I do this now? What now? How about this? Kind of frantic response. And over monitoring, let's wait and see if it goes away. So I'm just going to watch and stay and stare at it and then see if it goes away. Trust me, all of the above and then some has happened. And also reacting with fear and urgency, oh my gosh, this is an emergency, we need to take my child to the ER. Every single time this happens, even though you know it is FND. In my other video, I talked about sending your child over and over again to ER is not the solution for FND. In fact, it does more harm than do good. And for the same reason, your child's school consistently calling 911 and then sending your child to ER is not the answer either, and that actually does more harm than good. But that is for another conversation. So let's just focus on paralysis and what to do. So here is what the real recovery looks like and happens. Starting on a good day, meaning outside of when your child is having an episode, start practicing the autonomic nervous system regulation strategies, whether it's a soothing strategies, a kind of calming, relaxing strategies, and or uplifting strategies, or joyful, exciting strategies, whatever works to rebalance the autonomic nervous system. Practice those on a good day when your child is not having an episode. That is the key. Think of it this way. Your child practicing these autonomic nervous system regulation strategies alongside with you, so this applies to you parents as well, on a good day, on a regular basis, is like your child is training for an Olympic game. Your child will never ever just practice on a day of the Olympic game, let alone during a final match or something like that. Your child is going to diligently practice on a regular basis, not all day, every day, but on a regular basis, and build skills and prep for that big day. So just like that, your child needs to practice these autonomic nervous system regulation strategies on a regular basis so your child is ready to use the strategies and skills when she needs to during an episode. So what that does is your child is basically building this body-brain trust before the symptoms show up. And then your child is also teaching the brain that the body is safe capable and strong. Whether it's overt or covert, it's a message that your child is sending by retraining the brain and the body. And then making the skill practice part of everyday life. So it becomes sort of autopilot instead of, oh, what am I supposed to do? Kind of thing. So then when and if your child needs to use those strategies, then your child's brain and body know exactly what to do instead of just thinking, oh my gosh, what do we do? So what could be the examples of what to practice? Well, I have tons and tons of videos about what those things are, but just to kind of give a highlight of it, your child can do anything with grounding technique. You can even Google it if you want to, or I have tons of videos about that. And then breath work, like slowing down the breathing, not the deep breathing, just so you know. And your child can also practice a movement and then pacing, not just a massage frantically when you need to kind of thing. And regulating your routines, kind of what to do. And I talk about the daily menu plan, responsibility, regulation, recreation, all of those things. You do it on a regular basis. So you're really working towards that symptom management. So this is not something that you frantically think, oh my gosh, my child is having a paralysis. What do I do? First of all, calm down, because you also need to calm down if you want to get through that episode, because you're basically teaching your team to calm down as well. You cannot be frantic and tell your child to calm down. That's not going to work out. Okay. And you also don't want to get into this trap of symptom chasing behavior. Like, okay, so I'm going to use this strategy for that paralysis. And we need to use completely different strategies for brain fog. And we need to use completely different strategies for pain, stuff like that. So think of all of those things are the branches of the same tree, which is an FND. Therefore, start really focusing on the ground up root, not necessarily cause of it, but the strengthening the root. So you're taking care of all of those branches at the same time. So if you're still thinking, yeah, that works for seizures, but what about for paralysis? That usually tells me you may want to know more about what FND really is and how those symptoms kind of go together and seem like whack-a-mole. So start there, and then on a regular basis, again, autonomic nervous system strategies on a good day. So then you are prepping yourself for practicing and using those strategies when you need to. And so what to do during an episode. This video is specifically for paralysis, but honestly, this is for any other symptoms, okay? First of all, remain calm. Your energy is contagious. As I mentioned, you as a parent, you remain calm, okay? And you can, ahead of the time, talk to your teen how you can help, whether you can remind your teen about strategies that she's been practicing, or you can just stay calm and then stay there physically but not do anything, right? And you don't need to fix anything. Just stay steady. There is nothing that your child needs to fix. Again, focusing on fixing is literally driving the fight or flight super on high. So your job is to turning down the volume of that. Okay. And then you can kind of use phrases like, we practice this, let's trust the process, right? Or you can encourage your teen to practice that. Not in that moment, but again, having a heads up conversation between you and your team. And so your team knows more of what to do. So you don't have to be, okay, you have to do this, you have to do this. Then it becomes your problem to solve. You want your team to solve her own problem. Again, it's not really a problem, but the episode, okay? And once it passes, because your child is going to ride a wave of FND, then celebrate the fact that your child got through it. It's not so much about the outcome of the fact that your child had an episode. It is all about the fact that your child got through it, even though it was ugly, it was hard, it was complicated, it was really frustrating. The fact that your child got through it, that is worthy of celebrating, because in the FND recovery, everything counts. Now, you don't need to fear the episode unless you can control it every single time. At this stage, you just need to train your brain not to go there in the first place, starting with practicing those autonomic nervous system regulation strategies on a regular basis, right? And if you want to know when to do, what to do, and how to do step by step, this is where you need a professional guidance. So stop thinking about you have to figure this out all on your own. I mean, if you can, hats off to you, sure, but at what cost? Because you're costing your child time and in your time as well. So maybe this is a time for you to think about, we need to get the real help. So of course, you are more than welcome to apply to my online program, Teen FND Academy. The link is down below, and see if you qualify for the program. Now, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.